Origami design is a critical component of this art. There's a huge difference between just folding origami and creating your own models. Today, we get to hear advice from expert origami designers on what you should do when starting out on your journey. Now, this is a really cool video, so if you know folders who are thinking about getting into design or aspiring designers, definitely share this video with them. And with that, let's start with the legendary origami designer, Brian Chan.
I'm Brian Chan. I really like insect folds, obviously, things that are complex. For beginner designers, obviously buy Origami Design Secrets and read it through. But I think that you cannot replace experimentation. So if you want to design like a spider or something, you can kind of go by the book and make a spider, but you can go so much further if you take that base and try to just do it in different ways and shape it in different ways. One thing about like complex folds is I find that a lot of designers are totally able to achieve the complex base and like make a model that is from a very difficult crease pattern. But I think one thing I would like to see is for them to spend more time on shaping. Because if you think about it, what's the difference between a gingerbread man that looks kind of flopped out and like a Michelangelo sculpture is all in the shaping if it's origami, but the base would look the same. So for example, my Spider-Man, I finished folding it and actually spent like 2.5 days just shaping it. And you know, that's kind of what works for me, but I think I would encourage them to like really explore that aspect of folding.
Hello, my name is Beth Johnson, and I am from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Yeah, so this question I do get a lot, and it's a great question. I often tell people to just play around with existing models, like if they're folding a design maybe halfway through, just take it in a different direction. So working on kind of adapting other people's work, but not in the shaping, or anyway, you know, just in a way of thinking about trying to take existing work and make it different in a way or make it your own. And then also, like I said, taking kind of where you're at with a base where it just kind of has the basic structure and start taking it in a completely different direction can really help you start exploring those, you know, ideas. And then also, I guess, you know, for me personally, I just kind of fell into it really, you know, accidentally almost in a way. So I'm also a little loath to be too prescriptive about like this is the, you know, the way you should do it, because in some, you know, there's something to be said about not knowing too much, because then you can explore your own unique ways of doing things and you aren't too heavily influenced maybe by other people's ideas or ways of folding. And just one last piece of advice, I suppose, one of the things that I'm kind of surprised that I didn't do was just unfolding things that I'd folded and kind of looking at the geometry and just, you know, just that's kind of where I took a step back and started thinking about design when I started folding from crease patterns and thinking about it differently. So it really forces you to think about origami differently. So.
My name is Zodle, and I'm kind of mostly into modulars and recursive designs. I think that, yeah, similar. I think everyone has their own styles, and I think inspiration comes from different places. Like, I think your work is so, like, on another level to me. Like, I think it's amazing. I, like, don't think that way at all. So, like, you can see the difference between our work, and I think that's so cool. But I think there's pieces that I could take from your work, incorporate into mine, and I think we all learn a lot from each other, and I think there's so much of that to be had at this convention. I don't know, I think that's so cool. Like, just everyone has their own unique style, and you can tell, like, when you see a certain person's work, you can recognize, you know, that's their design, this is their technique, and I don't know. For me, there's just inspiration in a lot of different places, and I think you just kind of have to find that and see what works best for you. So.
Hi, I'm Ilan Garibi from Israel. I'm an origami artist. Believe in yourself. You can do it.
My name is Alexa, and I usually fold representational models. Don't try to circle pack by hand.
I'm Michael LaFosse. I'm Richard Alexander.
Oh, wow. Well, I remember when I was a beginner designer, and I found that my best approach was what I call a walk through the woods. I would just take a piece of paper and start folding. So it's like stepping into the woods. You don't know which creature you're going to discover, but you just kind of go step by step, and then something will begin to emerge. So you use your imagination. It's like, oh, this is starting to look like a rabbit or a bear. So it's like you get the glimpse of that creature, and then you pursue it. And don't be afraid to unfold and then toss it away and start over again. But begin with, well, I like to just say, like a walk in the woods. And discovery will be a wonderful, sweet surprise, for sure.
Yeah, don't be afraid to make a mistake, and don't get involved with really expensive materials at an early stage. Fold everything from gum wrappers and candy wrappers, and we have a whole book called Trash Origami. So instead of taking that bin to the recycle center, find out what you can make out of it. And dollar bills are great because after you have folded the daylights out of them, they're still very strong paper. You can unfold it and use it. I tell people, if you've ever spent money without folding it first, you haven't gotten your full enjoyment.
There you go. Yeah, yeah.
My name's Jeremy Shafer, and I love origami action, things that do things and transform. Don't have too high expectations for the final product. You have to learn to enjoy the process of getting there, and enjoying the road to the product will enhance the product in the end. That's my philosophy.
Good morning, my name is Quentin Trollope. I currently live in Canada. For people who want to get into designing, again, I think folding from other people's designs, a variety of people, not just the same person, because you may just learn a certain type of technique if you just follow certain people. So, put your tentacles out there, try and fold new, different things from different designers. But do not forget the basic fundamentals of origami. So I think if you have a good knowledge of when origami started, the basic basis, and even the history of origami, that can definitely help you get started in designing your own things.
Hello, I'm Brandon. I'm another B. Wong. My online name is the Plant Psychologist. Some people call me a plant designer. So, designing and folding are really related. I think the better of a designer you are, the better folder you'll be. The better folder you are, the better designer you'll be. If you fold a lot of models, you'll probably have that intuition. Designing, the core of designing is shaping. When you start off designing, you start off with, most people start off with traditional bases. So for example, you take a crane base and you might make some other bird. That's just shaping, okay? So if you can shape a crease pattern, like let's say you're folding someone else's crease pattern, and you have the base, and you need to turn that base into the finished model. You have to figure out how to shape that. And that figuring out of shaping is basically the key to designing. Later on, you can figure out how to make those bases. Later on, you can learn all the things. And that's why traditional base shaping is really helpful, because you don't need to worry about that. You're just focusing on going from base to final model. Because no matter what, when you're folding other people's model, when you're folding your own, you have to do that step. So when you get good at shaping, then you can take any base and turn it into the model you want. And then you can go in and learn box splitting, 2025, Pythagorean stretches, circle packing, level shifters, ridge pleats, everything you need to make the base. But the core is shaping. And if you don't have shaping, you can make interesting bases. You can make, oh, by the way, this is for figurative designs, representational. Tessellations and geometric, not my field. If you want to make things that look like real life animals, living things, especially plants, whatever, the key is shaping. And then the base is secondary. Oh, also watch my videos.
Seriously, guys, you can check out my class to read crease patterns, and then Plant's class to learn how to design.
I'll make sure that's in there.
And for this video, I thought I would also give advice for designers. Now, my advice is to build your foundation while you learn to design. I think anyone is able to start getting into design, and that's great, but you want to make sure you build strong foundations. And so what are these foundations? Well, this would be things like your folding skills, your shaping skills, your ability to read diagrams, read crease patterns, and your skill of observation. Bolster yourself in all these categories to be able to make beautiful and thoughtful designs. right? If you can't fold something beautifully, how do you think you're going to be able to design something beautifully? It's going to be like way harder as you learn to design if you don't already have those expert folding skills. So you make a list of fundamentals that you need to work on or that you think you want to get better on so that you can design better, and go grind out and learn those. You can do it. And once again, thank you so much to the world-class origami designers for letting me interview you and for sharing your valuable knowledge with the world. And for the folders and designers out there, let's show appreciation. Go check out those designers. Their links are in the description, and, let them know or thank them in their own comments, as well as leave in these comments what you were inspired by or maybe something you learned. I know that just listening to them give their answers inspired me a ton. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
All this origami, all this origami, all this origami got me going kamikaze.